What happens when your closest friend starts using your friendship as leverage? Well, Canada is finding out the hard way. Tariff, extradition policies, and shifting alliances have left Canada cornered, facing the reality that trust with the United States can't be taken for granted anymore. Hey all, welcome to ShareTrek, where science meets investments, and I'm your host Raj. Friends, today we are diving into how Donald Trump's tariff policies and America's shifting geopolitical posture have battered Canada's economy and reshaped our diplomatic footing. Full disclosure, I'm a Canadian, so there might be a Canadian bias to my narrative. Please give your comments in the comment section so that I can be informed of how you look at this situation. It all started back in December 2018 when Canadian authorities arrested Huawei's CFO Meng Wanzhou in Vancouver at the request of the US Department of Justice. Ottawa simply followed its extradition treaty obligations, nothing unusual on paper. But Beijing saw it as an attack. Within days, China detained two Canadians, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, on vague national security charges as per the reports. The two men spent over 1,000 days in Chinese prisons. Their ordeal became a symbol of how Canada's rule of law commitment can make it a pawn in bigger power struggles. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien accused Washington of using Ottawa as a proxy. Chrystia Freeland, then Foreign Minister, defended Canada's stance but warned that legal cooperation with the US now carried new risks. And when Meng was finally released in 2021, the same day China freed two Michaels, it drove home a grim truth. We had upheld the law but paid the price in sovereignty and trust. Fast forward to Trump's tariff playbook. In 2018, he slapped 25% duties on steel and 10% on aluminum. In 2025, he threatened to expand that to a 25 to 35% tariff across major Canadian exports, including auto, energy, and metals. According to estimates cited by the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, a blanket 25% tariff could shave off 2.6% of Canada's GDP, equal to about $78 billion, and cost every Canadian roughly $1,900 a year. That's not abstract. It means factories cutting shifts, small manufacturers freezing investments, and supply chains grinding down. Ottawa hit back with counter tariffs worth around $30 billion, targeting politically sensitive US products like bourbon, orange juice, and dairy. It was smart politics, aimed for swing state pain, but in reality, the US still holds most of the leverage. Friends, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, please hit the like button. It helps other investors like yourself discover ShareTrek. Coming back to our topic, diplomatically, the fallout ran further deeper than dollars. For decades, Canada was treated as Washington's closest collaborator, from NORAD to G7, but under Trump's America First revival, even allies got sidelined. Trade decisions were made unilaterally, security cooperation turned transactional, and that old comfortable trust, the longest undefended border kind of trust, began to look naive. Even Germany and Japan, usually supportive allies of Canada, offered little solidarity when Canada pushed back on tariffs. The message was clear: when economic nationalism rises, every nation stands alone. Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney is trying to chart a new path, a diplomatic reset with China and Asia, and renewed focus on supply chains resilience. He's not abandoning the US alliance, but he's acknowledging the reality. Canada cannot afford single market dependence. Diversification to Europe, Asia, and the Commonwealth is how the new economic self-defense can be formed. It's about insulating Canada from the next tariff tantrum. The lesson is uncomfortable but necessary. When trust becomes a bargaining chip, friendship becomes fragile. Tariffs and political coercion didn't just dent trade, they rewired how Canada sees its own security and prosperity. The days when Canada was a steady partner for US under the understanding that United States will give it protection in all aspects is long past. In those days, Canada had taken a stance against many countries across the globe, including China, India, and others. Now, Canada is trying to recalibrate its approach under the new reality. And once President Trump is gone, the reality might change, but the damage is already done. Canada will have to forge new relations, both in defense as well as trade, form part of new supply chains and new strategies so that it can be insulated from any future situation like the one we are seeing right now. Friends, I look forward to hear your feedback wherever you are from in the world. Please put your comments in the comment section. It gives us an idea of how geopolitics is shaping up and how the world is viewing Canada. I have given you my view of how I think Canada is viewing the world. Thanks for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and help grow the channel. Also, I have a deeper article in the Substack. The link to the Substack is in the description. Look forward to see you there. Bye for now.